because we know nothing.
Yeah.
We're live already.
Okay, it is, meeting to receive public input on the proposed budget, December 8th of 2021. We'll open the public meeting. Nobody's here.
No, but, we do have to decide, what percentage, or what you wanna do with that. We went 10% on the prelim, and that's why I'd asked you to bring your tax statements to see how 10% affected you.
Yeah, I think mine was 100.
Do we do that up here or down?
I usually
No,
do
this
it down
is,
here.
where we talk about it, and then,
Yeah,
you talk about it on this part, and then down here,
Okay.
you'll make the motion.
Okay.
For what percentage?
So at 10%, mine went up $155 on the year.
Well, that's mine was $105, just 67, 106.57 or something. We added it up the other day.
How was your, valuation on your house though? Did that go up as well?
Yeah,
yeah, mine went way up, and that's why I'm taking my
And that
tax.
we can't control, and
Right,
that
right.
is not us.
right.
So 9%, if you're, concerned about the 10%, I put 9% in this worksheet that the county prepared for us, and it's not 100%, but it's a close guess at it. And so a house valued at $250,000 would actually go down $3.81 on the city line. It's not, we can't control the school or the county either.
Right.
So.
10% be straight even?
No, 10%, here, let me put the 10% number in. Oh, wrong spot. So it was, at 10% would have only raised a $250,000 out at $8.68. But if that house had been valued at, say, $225 last year, the taxpayer is dealing with the $25,000 increase in their home value on top of, so it's really hard from their perspective to understand.
It's not up that high, but it's good.
But
What
you
the
don't
radius,
know.
what the valuation it is.
Yeah, so it looks to me like 10% raised it higher than what this spreadsheet is showing us. And we also want to capture as much of the income as we can without hurting the taxpayer.
And 9% gives them a decrease?
According to this spreadsheet, and that's if their property value stayed the same.
Well,
No guarantee.
in theory, but in
Yeah.
theory, somebody's that stay the same actually could be less. For some people, they're
Yeah.
gonna be less because the number stays the same.
So, what did yours go?
Like $105 and some, $107.52 or something. We added it up the other day.
Is it more to our advantage to look at the valuation rather than what it went up? Because is that the?
Well, his valuation had to go up. If his-
Right,
if
right.
his-
Yeah, 177 to 193.5 is what my
we're
valuation.
going up 25%,
Yeah.
or more than that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so-
okay.
I mean,
So if you'd
that
been
would
back
have
at 77, your taxes would have been less, they would have went
It
down.
went down,
But
right,
then
Yeah.
some other guys might go up.
Right.
exactly.
Right,
yep.
because their valuation could go down. So it's really this is a very difficult thing to try to get it exact, and
It's just making the best possible judgment with the information that we've got.
How much does it affect our city budget, that 1%?
well, we'd be pretty comfortable, of course. And I provided you the spreadsheet, the 10% numbers,
Yeah.
so you can see on the top portion, like, how much different, didn't do 9% on here, but I did 4% and then 10%, what those differences would be.
So, just from a quick glance here, it looks to me as though 9% wouldn't affect the city, budget or total very much, rather than 10.
Right.
But it would help homeowners
Yes,
as
right.
far as not having to pay any extra. And it sounds like we're gonna have extra fees and charges anyway this year, with the city and with the sewer and the water, and I'd like to be more generous if we could with our employees, because they're gonna have to suffer with, inflation too, so, if 9% doesn't hurt us a lot in the city budget, and that's a much bigger jump than I've ever seen, I guess, for the city, but then we got all
I
the.
had one other one in my time here,
Okay.
one other big one, but generally very conservative,
Yeah.
try to
Yeah,
really stay as low as possible without.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Historically, can you remember offhand what we've typically gone? I mean, these are
I
unprecedented times right now.
yeah, I think we've gone 13%.
Oh, okay.
But,
And previous to me, I remember seeing an 11%.
but there was always an attempt though to capture the growth, not
Yeah, right.
not stick it to any, you
No.
know, there was
We
always.
wanna keep that,
Yeah, if we can
if we can
Cause
help,
like after next year, there'll be a lot more growth coming in again.
right.
It's a year behind.
What did there's 8%. What did 8% look on the tax? I just would like to see it. We have an idea, we're looking at 8, 9, and 10.
So $16 less on 250,000.
and that's monthly then, that 15, right? Or is that the
No,
year?
that's the year.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the year.
What's the 9%?
Was 8 points.
That went down like $3 and,
That's what I said, it went down, I know.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem myself with taking it to 9, I guess, and capturing a bunch of the growth if we can, you know, and, even though I think that's more than we've done in the past. but that's
Probably
okay.
in your,
Yeah, in my
tenure,
opinion,
yeah.
but I'm thinking, like you said, I'm thinking that's okay, because we're gonna need it anyway, because we are gonna work with inflation too. Next year.
Well, see, what you had, Wayne, advantage you had is we had like the pay partners coming on, line and all that, so we didn't raise it.
Okay.
We captured their
Yeah.
taxes is what we
Yeah.
did. You know, this year we don't have that, but we're gonna be, another year we will.
Yeah, yeah. So,
That's the only thing, I don't have.
you're thinking we should stay at 10, or?
I'm debating 9 or 10, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't mind the 9, I don't have an issue with that at all.
I wouldn't go lower than that either.
No,
I think-
nine's probably fair. If we can kind of keep everybody happy, that's what we want to
9%.
do.
That's what I was kind of thinking, we were juggling the numbers.
And with there being some extra fees. I mean, you know, with the garbage and those kinds of things.
Yeah, we'll have
If
to,
we could go 9, that would be.
yeah, cause they're gonna be raising that too.
So garbage, sewer, water does not come out of the general fund, so this 9% is the general fund.
Yeah.
Um, so that would be streets though,
But it
Yeah,
still
big one.
affects them citizens,
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
so
Yep,
that's what
yep,
I'm,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
I'd make a motion, we go at 9%, I guess.
Well, wait, no.
You can make the
Oh,
motion down.
But not
You
now.
said, yeah, you can maybe
Number
adjourn a
6.
public meeting.
Sorry.
I can't believe we don't have any more people.
No
I'd
motion.
like to make a motion, we adjourn the public meeting.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Do I get a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn the public meeting, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We're going to the council meeting and pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I get a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to approve the agenda, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approve the minutes of the November 10th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the last agenda, or the last council minutes.
Do I get a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of November 10th meeting, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All business.
One thing I had, Terry, Lori a little bit, we talked about getting an update, or audit, when Lori leaves here. I did talk to, Steve Sellison from Red Wing, he does the audit at the school from Smith, Schaefer, and Red Wing. We just talked a little bit on the phone today, and just for everybody's information, we don't have to have an audit in the city of Goodhue because we're a population less than 2,500, as long as we have a separate clerk and treasurer, which we do. But I don't think that really matters. I think the point of it is, we were thinking about having an audit done anyway. Just Lori actually requested it, so we're kind of cleaning the book. Yeah. So he suggested maybe he could come out to our meetings, discuss this what he thinks we need or don't need. He wasn't looking for business, and I know him a little bit, not that well, but he does audit some business in town, and he also does the schools audit for them. So you'll have to let me know what direction you guys would like me to take in that matter.
When would this audit have to be done, or when would we like it to be done by?
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
Well,
I don't-
Yeah,
either
that
that
won't
or-
happen.
well,
Yeah.
that's what we wanted, but we're late on it.
Yeah.
So I want it as soon as possible, just to protect Lori and the city, so.
So
And,
sometime in January.
Yeah, so-
Probably.
Well, if it was a regular audit happens, by March 31st, if you close your books, December 31st.
Mhm.
So usually they'll start, in February or March to give you time. So you still need January to get the December bank statement, there's adjustments being made, meaning the books won't be ready quite yet in
Oh.
January.
Yep.
And not until
Yeah.
February or March.
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
just do it as soon as possible.
Well, and then I'd like to have
After the year.
Yeah, but I don't know, when we say audit, that's different things to different people. I mean, the only audit I remember us having done in a long time was when this is going back a long time, when we did some borrowing for the gas committee. They did do an actual line by line audit. Are you here then, Lori? No?
No, but I've been through audits.
Yeah.
And they're very intense,
Yeah.
and like the auditor will be with you for days and looking,
Yeah.
and just providing.
So,
So I didn't know if there was a way to do
well,
a different type of audit that's not as in-depth.
Didn't we do one with just did a quick one.
I don't know, why don't I have him make a recommendation, what he thinks we need? I
Yeah,
mean,
that might be.
and then the council can make a decision how in depth they wanna go or not go, would that be okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
I believe the last audit was, when the gas commission was.
Okay.
What was the name of that?
The Smith Schaefer, the Steve Selvinson, he's the kind of the head guy at, and he does the Goodhue, he does several businesses in town, and he does the school too.
Okay. Thank you.
And I don't think we have to use him, I just, whatever you guys wanna
Yeah, I
do.
mean, if he's been doing other people in town and they're happy with it.
I assume so, but
Yeah.
that's all I had on that.
That's it, okay. We'll go into new business then. Levy motion, there you go, Wayne.
Oh. I make a motion that we set our levy at 9%.
I got a second?
I'll say, go ahead, shoot.
Nope. You do it.
Okay. Motion made second to approve the levy at 9%, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Engineer update for Reese, I talked to him today. And he's actually waiting yet for Fitzgerald to, some, things that he has to get done yet. To get him the bill, and then we talked about 11th Street up there. And we got a water issue there that they're supposed to be taking care of right there,
Tell me again, where's 11th Street?
that twin home.
Oh, the new one.
Is that what that is?
That's 11th Street?
Yeah, right there on the board.
And it's just showing the water draining like toward that house, is that what that is?
It actually is coming off and going to Eric's. And that's why, but if you look in the front there, if you look in the front, on the bottom of that first picture, right there, from there, where that blue piping is down to the road, it's supposed to be at a down angle, it's actually an up angle, so it's a dam in there. So, we're gonna have to have them, the carpenters and that, when they get down and start landscaping, they've gotta get that so it drains back down to the street again. It did it for one time, and then all of a sudden, it started going up on the utilities that was put in, when that cabin and that was put in. So that's one thing we talked about, we got a fix on that. Then he's just waiting for some different things to be finished, and then we'll pay both that and Fitzy off on, down on Viola. They got a blacktop down there yet, and something else.
So if it was draining correctly when it was
They
developed.
just got stuff piled on it, now it's gotta come off,
Okay,
that's all it is.
okay.
It's just that they have to do it.
At their expense. Has
Yeah.
Eric had any water?
No, but that's what he
Yeah.
called me on, because he
Okay.
was worried about getting water in it, so I went up there with Eric, and then we looked everything over, and I said, it looks high here, so then I had Reese come up and put a transit on it. And he said it's like 6 inches or a foot, almost a foot higher. So then, that's why it's blocking the water. In the back, there's a pond, drainage pond that backs and then does comes across the street in the storm sewer. And that's all good yet, it's just this secure part right there.
I noticed they don't have their silt fence up yet.
I can talk to them on that too, I haven't been up there to even look at it, to be honest with you.
So,
I just told them to get that pile out of there. Cause I've seen them downtown, and I talked to them that about it, they got that out of there, said the next day it'll be out of there, so.
I'm gonna say it might be getting a little late if they don't get it.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard.
So that's basically it for Reese's stuff.
Trish and I went to the sanitary district meeting. Is there a place in Indian for that, or do we want to say
Sewer and
something about
water
that
study?
now? What's that?
Sewer and water study,
You-
or we can do it right now, we can do it now, I don't have a problem with
Okay, well, I just saw
That's
he
what
had
this
that.
sheet of paper is talking with the legislators.
Do you have something you wanna say Al, about it, or?
Well, I have one, thing that I didn't realize, but they figure that if this goes through, if we get the money from the legislature and all of that, that, you know, the cost that we are going to pay will probably double. I mean, this is not gonna be a cheap thing, but individually, we will probably pay double.
it. But on the other hand, if we have to fix our
Our own,
sewer plant up here,
they said it'd be probably 5 times,
yeah,
which I hadn't heard that before.
yeah, they said that. I was at a meeting early on and they said that, cause each individual, plus they don't know if the state would even let it out anymore because they wanna go in these districts. When I was at the meeting, and so if we did it, you know, this is supposed to be 84 million, and ours is by ourselves would be around 10 or better. You know, so it's, and then we're on it our own again, where this here, all we are is pumping in the pipe. Plus they wanna go districts, you know,
The one thing that was, kind of alarming, I guess, to me, was the head of the, bonding committee, Bach, was his last name, Senator Bach. He said that this is a big ask for them, which is a little surprising to me, for $8 million doesn't seem much out of a state budget that has a 7.7 billion surplus. But, and he said he thought we should do it in phases, which, that would be tough, I would think.
that'd be cost more yet.
Will cost
Cost
more,
or
and,
you don't know if you're gonna get the second one.
well, yeah, I don't
You
think
know.
it would unless the whole thing was approved in the phase.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they go in for bidding on it now and turn around, okay, this is the price. If you do in phases, you're gonna get this price, and then you're going inflation and everything else, so this price is going up here.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this is the year to get it. You got lucky all the way
Yeah.
around with the
Yeah.
federal government money and this is the timing is, I think, it's probably on the city side, if I had to guess.
and I was in a meeting here last week, and they turned around and said they're looking forward to this one, because they can get this one, and then pretty much a go for other ones.
I wondered if we should have had our clerks calling the Senate to put pressure on. Well, just because of what Bach said, I was just, like I said, I thought it was kind of alarming that he would even say, you know, that it's a big ask, but, yeah.
You know, they act like it's one city asking for this, and it's not, it's 4.
And just look at Mazeppa, they wanna do their own, and look what it's costing them. How they're not in this is beyond me.
I think they wanted to do it more quickly.
They needed it sooner.
They
That's
needed
what
it
they said.
sooner, I think. Yeah, they, right.
Cause I mean, you look at the price they're paying, they're smaller than we are.
What was that figure again?
No, I can't, not off the top of my head. I remember reading it, and I went down and talked to Carl about it. You know, it's still to this day, he says, I just can't believe you don't wanna go in on this, you know.
The one good thing is I thought they did a great presentation, you know, the people presenting the numbers and the figures and that thing to the senators and the committee, thought they did a really good job. They just, explained it well, and then there was a question about how soon does this need to be done, and I said, Goodhue needs to be done almost immediately. I said, we're just getting by with a 60-hour-old sewer system, and I said, there's no telling how long, you know, if it'll continue to go, so, yeah.
Wanamingo's in the same boat.
Who is?
Wanamingo.
Oh, they are, okay, yeah.
I mean, both plants need to be updated immediately, as soon as we possibly can.
Right, right. And they, the whole, people doing the presenting said that too, they said, yeah, in fact, they called us the winners as far as the oldest, and probably most, you know, endangered plant.
The winner, yeah.
Yeah, we're the
So are we a winner?
That's a great
According to them. So, I thought we should maybe throw that out there while I was on the.
No, thank you guys for going down there. I couldn't make it at all to do that. Sewer and water study.
So I don't know if you've all read, Steve wrote a email explaining some things that to consider, and I think really what it comes down to is it's to keep moving it, and we need to go higher. So my recommendation would be that this would become 40, the 36 would become 40. Because we're going to be dealing with some major sewer expenses. So $4 a month.
And what's that gonna,
I'll give you some math here.
So we're currently at 33 and 36, or we're looking at just sewer
36.
right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Not water.
Yeah, I started with the hard one.
Okay.
So that'd be $21,360 for the year.
So when I was looking at these, just kind of help me out here. So in 18, so you were just going back and showing us what it was raised to in January 1st in 2020, correct? From 18 and then current?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so we haven't raised them in 2 years.
So you didn't raise them January 1 of, oh, this was 2020.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, so sewer went from 30 to 36.
okay, and nothing was done in 21.
Yep.
Stayed
And
the
keep-
same.
So part of our expenses in sewers, we are moving 25,000 a year into a sewer facility fund.
Mhm.
Just to, and honestly, by the time we, get to this, you'll probably have the first bond payment in that account really, or maybe 2 years bond payment at 25,000 a year. A little scary, isn't it?
Mhm.
so if we raise it 21,000
360.
for the year, right?
Yeah, if we go from 36 to 40,
Yeah.
that's about
That's-
what.
Are we gonna be able to meet his 50 to 60,000 in a year for cleaning? That he talked about?
I don't know how much he's already spending on cleaning. I don't know how much was in, I don't have all those breakdowns.
So,
I mean, that could be in that operation, so that could be.
Right.
He said 7 to 9
It's just a
thousand
process.
he's spending right now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah, that doesn't cover it.
And he thinks
That
it
doesn't
should
cover
go to 50 to 65.
Oh, he does, okay,
Yeah.
okay, well, then we should probably go with what Steve thinks.
Is that $40 a linear foot what it is right now?
I think so. It looks like
Oh, okay, 33 to 40. It's at the end, but I could change it anytime.
Yeah, it's just assuming it would be at $40.
That's if you can give it to.
Right?
So this is for, cleaning, he's got it in 3 sections, the city is in 3 sections, correct?
Right.
And they clean a section each year?
For the sewer,
For the
you talking?
The sewer, yeah.
Yeah, they camera a certain section, and if it needs cleaning, then they do it.
Okay,
And not clean, but rotting it.
Oh, like kind of rotor.
Yep.
Do they hire a contractor to come do it, or do it themselves?
No, we got a contractor.
Oh, okay.
So if we double that $4, we would then, I guess, bring in about 42,000? And add that to the 7 he's spending, we'd be at that 50.
I'm just looking for where he said to go. But he said he needed a suggestion.
It's at, you know where the hole is in the middle?
It's up there.
It goes just by line.
But that's the line it.
Yeah, that's $33 to $40.
See, we lined Sixth Street because we were having issues
Okay.
with sewers backing up because of roots. So we put a liner in it to try it. Then we did one on Third Street.
So
You know,
the
and that's worked so well that we, instead of replacing the tile, when we dig the street up, we want to replace it. But if we aren't gonna dig the street up, that's why where this liner goes in.
Okay.
It goes in and they fill it up, right out the sides of the, roots and that can't come in from the sewer line. But like when we redo Fourth Street and that, we're gonna wanna redo that sewer line.
And that's where you would go in with the PVC pipe?
Yep.
The plastic lines?
Yep.
Okay.
So, I don't quite understand. So you talk about okay, we spend 7,000 to 9,000 cleaning sewers, and you're saying that's like a rotary thing?
Yep, they send a camera down there.
Yeah.
And then they actually jet it because the jets will cut the roots off. You know, but now, and we didn't line it, if we would line it, then we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Mhm.
And that's where that $30 to $40, 33 to 40 comes
Okay. So he figures that would make more sense.
in. On sewers that we're having issues and we're not gonna replace, yeah.
Okay.
So we've been doing streets, we've been replacing, most of them are the clay, so we replace the clay. Like Broadway, when we do that one, that's got plastic in it now, both water and sewer. So that's just to dig the base up, put a new base, curb and gutter.
So I'm not sure where he gets the 50 to 65,000, and that depends on how much you do, right? I mean, you don't have to do that much every year, you could,
Well, it's at $40 a linear foot is where that's
Yeah.
coming up, yeah.
yeah, right.
Right.
But you don't have to do that much every year.
No,
It did say approximately too, so yeah.
So he's looking for 50 to 65,000, not $50 to $65 a month.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Run everybody out of town if you do that.
Yeah.
Well, that would be, that would be more than,
these rich
if
single
we
guys,
want to
they're
increase.
just. Anybody here?
He's a single income earner account here, single income family.
Yeah.
So am I, Jason, right?
That's what I mean.
Not a dual income.
Okay, if we want to increase, we need 65,000 more in the sewer budget, we have to increase the rate by $12.17 a month.
How much?
$12.17. That's increasing the sewer budget by 65,000. But we're also in the red, so we really need to add another.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We're not in the red on the account, we're red for the year.
For the year?
But we will eventually be in the red in the account if we keep going in the red every year. Well, to give you an idea here, so you don't feel so bad, I checked with Ken Falls and Wanamingo, answered me, and I had 54.30 a month for Camp Falls for sewer, and 48 for Wanamingo.
And that's, you're proposing us is 48,
Well, I
actually
was-
50.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you should decide this soon. I mean, we of course could raise the rates any time. We don't have to exactly do it in January. In fact, we can't now because we need to, everybody needs to know we would probably raise them for February if we decide tonight.
Do we know, like, what Zimbrota is, what Mazeppa? Do we have any idea?
Zambrota's is lower than ours. I can't remember what theirs was. I think so. I did email. I don't remember if I got an answer. I must not have, if I didn't fill this in.
But they got other taxes going in on that town too, though. We got it up here, they got like projects because they won't do the street until, so they don't buy it.
But they have a new administrator now,
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe the council will.
change it, yeah.
Yeah.
I know before, I couldn't believe the way they were doing it.
I can't imagine $12 is one jump though. That seems like an awful lot. $4 would be, maybe $4 and then up at each year or something, $12. That would make my own personal one over $100 a month.
Well, then, or go 6
Yeah,
and make it
I mean,
42.
right, because 12 is too much to, to even, I mean, people are.
Well, you could go
really
42
uncomfortable.
down, see what it looks like in July,
Right,
and then do it again for that.
Cause you got
Yeah,
$12.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah, you
can,
can do it anytime.
Anytime.
You
Oh,
can change the ordinance, you need to publish it, and we would send it out in the water bills, so everyone would know.
So I would say rate 6 instead of 4.
Right, yeah, you just did half. That's, otherwise that's.
And just see what you have.
Right, that would make more sense to me, I guess.
You wanna make it a motion?
Yeah, I might as well, I'll make a motion.
Raise it $6.
6, yeah.
Do I get a second?
I'll second it.
Motion is made and second to raise the sewer rate $6. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now the water.
Water, we're estimating that we'll have about 16,000, ahead in the water, so you could, leave it, or you could just go up gradually, I mean, even 25 cents, or,
I thought we had that down where we were automatically gonna do that.
who else said that, did we?
We did it a couple of years ago, yeah.
Well,
We said we were gonna
that-
add so much to it every year.
I don't think a motion was made, because that would make no sense, you would not know what your, if something went wrong, or if you make a motion 3 years ago that you're gonna go up a quarter every year, I don't think you actually did it, I think you just talked about it. So if you don't know if something's going to break, or,
No, I know
Yeah,
that, but
yeah,
you never
so,
know that. I mean,
right.
you could raise it $20 and you just don't know
Yeah.
something's gonna break the cost you made.
Right.
That's the way it is. It just seems to me though,
no, I think you were
Looked
gonna
at-
give staff raises for the next 3 years at 3%. That was, strike that.
I take it you haven't looked it up to see if you did it or not.
Oh, geez.
No, I do not believe that you did that.
So we have a surplus now, you're saying, that would
Well, wait,
cover,
I'm
Okay.
projecting that we'll have 16,000.
and
What
that
the
would,
water is nice about the water is that it's still fairly new.
Yeah.
So, but, Steve is telling us that he wants to do some maintenance. It needs to be
Well,
So,
we had part of that pump along here.
yeah,
So the cleaning that he's talking about is 3,000.
yep.
We have 16 surplus. Would we
So
have
we
to
might
raise
be
it
fine.
much?
Here's what, also benefits the water tower, or the water fund, is that we get about 1,900 a month from Verizon to have, yeah, and that is going to the water fund.
Yeah.
So that does help.
So can we revisit the water in 6
Later,
months too?
sure, yeah, you can leave
I
water
mean-
alone.
No both. I mean, it
I
doesn't
guess
matter.
if we're looking at $6, right now on the sewer, and since we have a surplus, then we can always look at it, I think,
Why don't you have, the clerk put that on for the meeting in July?
yeah,
So
and
it
look
doesn't
at
get
it and
lost.
see where we're at.
Yeah, that way we can say we did it.
Now, just as far as the water, if we're gonna have the outside of the water tower cleaned, that would be at least 3,000.
Right, so then you're down to 13,000.
So the money is in there.
The money is there.
It sounds like this is the deal, the 3,000 to clean the inside,
I know, I think that's.
Is that the inside or the outside?
inside.
No, it says-
Clean every 3 years. For a total of 12 years, a contract.
Oh, this is for cleaning the inside of the tower only and inspecting the paint on areas that can be seen without rigging outside.
But you know,
Do we have that tower cleaned on the outside?
we should.
Yeah.
We should very well do it.
Do we have any idea on cost on that?
No, I'm trying to figure, because that's what I was asking you before, Lori. Didn't we have a warranty like on the paint and everything on that, 25 years, something like that, and we had a
That I'm
paint?
not aware of.
I remember them just saying that paint would not fade or anything else, and it's fading to do that.
Typically, what most communities do, they have a contract with the tower cleaning outfits, that they clean and paint. We used to do it every, like, when we had the old tower,
Red top, yeah.
or the company called Red Top, they did all Red Top, but that's what it's called. They had a contract with them, they would do it every so many years,
They'd paint the whole thing.
they'd paint the whole thing and over it. I don't know with this type of a tower, because this is much more modern tower, but that's typically what they do.
Did he puts on here, enter into a contract for water tower cleaning, but he doesn't say where.
Well, and it says here, however, it's only for cleaning the inside of the tower and inspecting the paint on areas that can be seen without rigging the outside. So,
Maybe you're gonna get a little more information.
I think
on
we
this.
need some more
Yeah.
information on that.
well,
Inside, outside,
that's, yeah, for only cleaning the inside of the tower and inspecting the paint on areas on the outside, so
right.
that's a whole different can of worms.
So I would make a motion to leave the water where it is at this time, revisit it in 6 months, plus also get more information on the contracts for cleaning inside and outside and inspecting. Sound reasonable?
Okay, do I hear a second for that?
I'll say.
Motion made and second to raise the, or to leave the water the way it is and revisit it in 6 months. And get more information on the cleaning and the tower itself. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Are we gonna look at the garbage rates and that too, then, or?
I think you guys did that last time, you went up $1.50, right? And,
Yeah.
disposal.
Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
that.
So, good.
Then, we go on to employee salary.
So in the budget, I had budgeted 3%, starting at, if you went 2% with the levy, so we could do 3% with the 2% levy, and you do whatever you want, I mean, as the, at 9%.
So you budgeted 3% for the 2022 budget, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then repeat what you just said.
If you had gone 1% though, or 0%, that did not include a raise. That was too low, I couldn't work it in. I did starting at 2% and up, with 3% raise.
Should we, just to throw a thought out there, should we look at like a COLA raise, what we're thinking?
Okay.
And,
Oh, well, yeah, I was gonna tell you, Jill and I attended on Zoom a meeting with Goodhue County, and I didn't type them, but here's what, these are the COLA raises, and so I think most of the cities that attended that are also union, so they get the COLA, and then if they're not, haven't been there too long, they get a step raise as well. So Goodhue County, I believe, said 2.5. Red Wing was 2 1/4. Cannon Falls was 2, Lake City 3, and Zumbrota 3.
That's a COLA with their
Yeah.
step raise?
Yeah. Nope, step raises are separate.
Okay, COLA with,
And just as an example, for 2022, COLA for the nation is 5.5.
say that seems, those 2% seem pretty darn low.
But if you're gonna step raise with it, I mean, that's very helpful, but.
Well, yeah.
so, help me here, because I'm new, I have a lot of questions.
Sure.
So, where are you basing the 5.5 off of for 2000?
That is what I've heard, that was what was said at Goodhue Counties, is that COLA is 5.5, and I also found that on the internet. Can anybody back me up on that?
So like, where? I mean, are you looking at
Well,
5.5%?
COLA is, every year they'll say like, what's the COLA for the nation?
So are you referring to like the social security
Cost of
increase?
living.
What cost of living increase is 5.5%.
By
Right.
social
The average.
security standards?
I don't know who sets the standards.
I don't think that's a social security standard necessarily, I think that's a government standard or
No,
government.
It's government,
they
it
seem
ain't
to.
social security, trust me.
No.
You getting that too?
No, yeah, I am, but that ain't it.
On social security, it says 5.9.
5.9.
Okay, so is that where the COLA is coming from?
That's where the COLA comes
That's
from.
where COLA is from.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Okay.
was getting.
Okay,
So when
anyway,
we're
but-
looking at 5.9%, we're not comparing apples to apples, because that's substantial inflation in Medicare Part A and Part B. So when we're looking at just regular working population, I don't know, I just don't think we're looking at apples to apples with 5.5%.
it is asked of me every year though, so that is why I provide it.
Yep.
So,
So last year it was 1.3%.
Yep.
So it varies, but that was
Yes.
due to
yes.
substantial inflation. So,
And that, I guess what I'm thinking is that we're seeing quite a bit of inflation, you know, and are these 2% gonna help keep our employees up, you know, to expenditures and, cost of living.
What
So-
did we do last year? Did we do 2.5 or something?
Last year did 3, but that had been 3 years of no raises,
Yeah.
because we got health insurance in exchange for raises. So,
2% in 2021. So, can I ask questions? Okay. Because I don't,
got the box.
because this is new to me, and I'm just trying to put it all together. So as far as para, because they're public employee retirement account, what percentage does the city match? What did they put in?
7.5, 7.5.
7.5, so it's dollar for dollar, is that correct? So employee puts in 7.5 and the city puts
That's
in?
6, yeah, I'd have to go.
6.25 approximately.
Okay, I don't have that. So could you just say that again, Joe?
I believe it's 6.25 or 6.5
Okay.
on the employee side.
Okay,
And then
the
7.5 on the employer.
7.5%. And that's across the board, correct? So, and I noticed in the bills the deferred comp. Is there deferred comp for our
We
employees?
put our own money in.
You
that
put your own
you guys
money in
don't
there?
do
Okay,
anything.
that's all I
No.
wanna know, cause
Yep.
I'm new.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then HSA is staying the same?
Yep, and that
The
we,
$1,000?
just 1,000 a year, if you take the insurance, and it's a high deductible insurance. So we don't have all of our employees getting the HSA because they have not chosen to take our insurance. And then, the employee puts in their own money besides, if they want to.
So do you have a system, because some places have a system where raises don't go into effect until they've had their job performance interviews? Who does those?
Nobody has, I think 90 days is that was what Lee said was the period of time, and we have never had anyone do that in my tenure. We have had annual reviews, and that has been a committee. Wayne and Ty always did it, so one of you two, I think, with Wayne.
And they were, in the past, we did more or less self-appraisals.
We've done that too, but yeah, with the new employee, maybe, I don't know, Nick, have you been reviewed by Josh? Maybe, no? So that's a good point, Terry.
Kind of unheard of.
Mhm.
That
Well,
they're not done.
Well, I think
I don't know.
we used to, I think, when Taya was still on the council, she kind of spearheaded.
For you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was on it with her, but she spearheaded, like you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we've never not done them.
Right.
But I think we did kind of do them. Did you do them annually?
Well,
Yeah,
annually, we've had annual ones for many years.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 90-day when you first start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it used to be you got 50 cents every, 90 days, 6 months, and then a year. And that was letting you know you're doing a good job. No, we told you before.
and wasn't, if I remember correctly, the council didn't even do a lot of appraisal of the employees as much as we did that self-appraisal, and we had Carrie go over it with the employees, I think last year. Because Carrie's more involved
Yeah.
with the employees than we are, you know. Do I know how well Steve does his job? I mean, not really, other than what I hear here, you know, and from the community. Could
The
I
only way
fairly
you-
evaluate?
Yeah.
You know,
The only way you guys would probably know is if you had complaints. Because generally people don't give good comments, so if you're not hearing something, just assume we're doing a good job.
I mean, I look and I think they do, for just the two guys, I think they do an awful lot. Get a lot done, and very capable with. But, you know, in that area. Maintenance.
My 2 cents now.
All the time.
So I think employees do a wonderful job, and the 3% to me is fine.
year or 2 years ago, we were somewhat concerned about some of them being drawn away because our wages weren't comparable, but we're much more comparable wage-wise.
We're still in the lower end of it, but we're getting more. Nick is still here, right?
I know.
I know he's been asked to go someplace else.
Yeah.
I don't wanna lose him.
Right.
Well, historically, you can't give raises based on whether or not you're gonna figure that your employees are gonna leave. Because you're gonna have attrition no matter,
I just
what
threw
you have.
that out there, I didn't.
okay, well, I just wanted to clarify that. Because it's like, people can find something better no matter where they go. No, we don't wanna lose people, definitely, but,
That
You
isn't
definitely
why, that
want-
isn't why I said it.
okay. So we strike that? Okay.
Well, it is a bigger fear right now with the,
No, what you get, the employees that you get is
Right.
pretty sad.
and with the big escape or whatever they call that now, with people quitting all the time, even mail. I mean, they were losing nurses, to other places because of wages. And Mayo stepped up and increased, is doing a lot to maintain, employees. If we lose employees, it's gonna be harder to, I don't think it's not a legitimate concern. There's the Great Escape or whatever, what is it called?
It is called that, my son did,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he just quit.
and it's harder to replace me. So, I don't, historically or not, this is a whole different time than what we're usually at.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, I'm gonna have the percentages.
So,
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
is
stop.
3 enough?
I've listened
Is
to
3
that
enough?
for 10 years.
really? No. So historically, last year, what did they get last year, 1.3?
3% last year,
3%.
and nothing for the 3 years
3 years
previous.
before that
Yeah.
because of the insurance and that.
Because you gave them insurance?
Mhm.
Okay.
Which is a lot, really.
It is,
That's
I
a
mean,
huge-
we're
That was a good
grateful,
benefit we
we're very
gave all,
grateful.
it's huge, yeah.
You know,
My insurance cost me.
when you start looking at these things and you're looking at your premiums and then you get your HSA money and, that's part of your total package.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people would say, wow, that's quite a bit. So that's that was obviously far more than 3% increase before. So,
No, that's
So
what,
3
that's what we
last
said,
year.
that's why they went with no raises for 3 years.
what year did they get premiums?
What is it?
This was 17, 16?
And not everybody takes it, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I think we okayed it, I
someone
think we
has-
okayed it at 16 to start in 17.
If, someone has a better deal through a spouse or another opportunity, like I said, we don't have everybody taking our health insurance. And so then they get nothing for, in exchange for not taking it. And then if their, other policy is not a high deductible, they cannot have the HSA money.
What is considered a high deductible?
2,000, isn't it? 2,000 is considered a high deductible,
Yeah, mine's real high then.
yeah,
Mine's super high.
Mine's really high too.
yeah, I've
Well,
seen most
Carrie, you're
people's
on
are.
Medicare, what are you talking about?
I got insurance through my company, and I got paid first $3,700.
Yeah, but you're on Medicare, aren't you?
Just
Right.
hospitalization,
I do it in my head, but it's.
just Medicare B.
She knows that I can't.
So I'm just thinking about coming to work for the city.
Yeah.
and for like Mayo, that's not a high deductible. My son had a $48,000 bill,
Yeah,
paid $2,000.
$2,000 isn't a high deductible. I mean, there are people who are $15,000 deductible, $10,000 deductible.
Well, here is 5,000 if you have a family.
You only,
Well, and then
you
there's,
have
yeah,
two
there's
people who
that.
are on family, correct?
Yep.
So,
There's 4,400, not, and it was 2,200 if you're single, 4,400.
you know, when talking wages, I think people, it's always a very difficult thing to talk about. And of course, we value everybody who is here, who works for the city. No, we don't want anybody to leave, but I think just, given some of the information here, I would be more comfortable just to kind of table it until next month. The wages are always retroactive. Give everybody a chance to kind of think about it a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to make a hasty decision. I want to make the right decision that's going to be in the best interest of all the employees here. And I don't feel I can do that tonight. So that's my opinion.
I'm not sure what's gonna change. If we wait, I think I'd be in the same place. I mean, I think it needs to be, for sure, 3%. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd wanna go 3.
Yeah, based on what I see for the numbers here, I mean, the 3% it's a raise, it looks like a normal decent raise, I mean. Because the other ones, when you're looking down, the 2.5 and the 2%, that's, yeah, I mean, 3%. Is it just, is it every year, is it?
Oh, every year we have.
But in through the percentage about every year, okay.
And if we feel more needs to be done down the road, can we do that with the wages?
Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, you can
Yeah, I
raise them
suppose.
next month if you want, and they're all at-will, non-union employees, so
I mean, we've done
Yeah,
it
you
both ways, or we,
you could reduce them too, not that you're gonna do that, but you could well, I mean, if something really happened, you got a big outbreak of COVID, and all of a sudden our funds got cut, or they got rid of local government aid, you might have to
True, too.
consider
Yeah.
options, but
Yeah.
that never has happened. But, you have full flexibility to do whatever you wanna do.
I don't have the issue one way or the other, because, I mean, we've done it in March already, retroactive to January, we've done it last couple of times, it's been before the new year, so we start off with our budget intact. I mean, it's up to you people. That's why I haven't really said a whole lot here, because,
It can be, we can flex that, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't have an issue one way or the other, it's just, I mean, it's gotta get done sometime, but.
Right.
I mean, if you feel you wanna take a month, I don't have an issue. If you wanna do it now, I don't have an issue.
Right, well, but this when they got the raise last year is right now, or what? Well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna raise it, you might as well do it now. But it's,
So we make a motion to raise it to 3%? I'll make the motion.
Is there room for any, I guess when we're looking at 2.5, 2.25 for Red Wing, 2%, I mean, 2.5%, I don't know. Is it typical that we raise, we include in the budget 3%, and just because we raise it 3%, we give them 3%?
We've done it all the way across the board. We've done 1%, we've done 0.5%.
But I mean,
We've done it
did
where,
you raise the budget into those years on 1% and then that's what you gave them?
No.
Okay, so that's, I'm just
no, I
kind
made a
of
couple,
playing the devil's advocate here.
yeah, no, I don't have an issue, Terry, at all. But we've done it where we went to the clerk at $25.75. we said, we'll give her 50 cents, and we went to the next one, 2038, and said, we're only giving him 20 cents. I mean, we've done it that way too, but, you know, the
That's
three,
not one time.
well,
Yeah,
right
that's
before
not-
you do that, because I know,
That's pretty ambiguous.
no, we've done that before, well, I mean, not, that just you throwing the figures out, but
Right.
the 3% was, I mean, the percentage wise is more fair to everybody.
Yes.
If it's, yeah, I mean, if it's the time of the year where they're getting their raises, I mean, you gotta send them with the raises. because-
Well, I mean, even if we do it in May, I mean, it's still gotta be, we're gonna have to retroactively pay
It's
back to
retro.
Jan.
You
Right.
don't, you don't have to do it now, but
No, I mean, we would retroactive back, I mean, so
Right.
don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
We've done it both ways, we've done everything. We've worked with certain places, trying to get people caught up, you know.
has there been any analysis on what percentage they're lagging behind? The city's lagging behind?
There's
There
never
is
been.
No.
Go ahead.
a study, but I don't have it here with me. We've historically been on the lower end of it.
So the difference between raising it, salaries 2.5 to 3% is about $1,500 a year.
Between everybody.
Now that the numbers are saying at the total at the,
65 to 79.
yeah,
Yeah, about 1,500.
I just give that to them, but.
It's not that much of a difference, so, no. So, yeah.
I mean, it's a motion, if we get a second, we'll take the vote, and don't decide after.
Well, if we got a motion, I'll second the motion, we might as well give them a raise.
Okay, the motion's made and second to go to 3% raise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion's carried. Clerk training routine. You know, Jim's gonna have to go. I don't mean, I'm down the road, I mean, today.
Well, it's awkward, but, so, I didn't know this information before because I've not retired before, nor have I had anyone on staff retire, so I found out with para and with, I have deferred comp, that I have to have 30 days no contact plus no verbal or written agreement to come back and help. And the intention was that I was gonna come back and help Jill with year end. So, I think I wrote you all a text explaining the situation too, but,
How much longer would you need?
well, Jill, the year end really the hard stuff starts March 1st, kind of, because January, I've provided a list here. In January, there's all the quarterly reports, the W-2s, there's some stuff that needs to be done by the end of January. February, mostly spend, getting the books in order, like going through everything, you go through every line item again and make sure everything's coded correctly. And then generally starting around March 1st, or even the end of February, we start doing the big financial statement. And that takes a couple of weeks. but you're also doing all your regular work as well, that has to get done,
For
so.
at least 3 more months.
Yeah, and I'm imagining that Jill's gonna be calling me all the time too, or not all the time, but often, with things that we just aren't gonna be able to see everything. There's so many different things that happen that I can't, we've done a ton. Jill's fast, she's learning fast. We have not messed around. We've been working nonstop, so.
Today we spent some time moving some files that we don't need readily available within the office, so that took up a part of our day too. So getting some of those things that we can move it to storage so that we can have it move a little bit smoother within the office is gonna take some time to organize those types of things. I did take a little bit of a break, from my City of Belchester job, so this is coming back to me, but I speaking on, the part from my experience with the City of Belchester, 90% of this is the same, and I can tell you just the amount of work from what I normally got from the City of Belchester going into January, February, and March. It doubled, if not tripled, my hours that I got for that quarter because of all of the reports that you have to do. And with our programs, literally they look at it line by line. So if they're starting to see stuff that's off, and if I obviously would have to call her, so if she coded something a certain way, I'm going to have to call her to verify how she had her funds. So the funds I would know, but like what expense that goes in what account and so forth. So I, of course, would have to call her to, if there's just one random one out there, and there should be, say, 4 of them, I'm gonna have to find where they are, because ultimately, there's a possibility that they could get flagged. So, if we don't have her here, then it's also hunting and pecking for me to be able to go and look to do that. Going forward, it will get easier once we get past this first quarter part of it. But just the financials alone to close out and then still continue with what 2022 would be is a lot of work. So I came in at the right timing of the year, as far as the holiday time, right? But also at a very busy time of this transition at the year end, so.
So I think she's saying that she wants to be able to rely on me.
Yeah.
And if you're getting a real audit, I'm gonna have to be answering those questions too. So I am sorry, I didn't know this, and it's kind of a pickle now, because I still do need to pay my bills. And I can't start drawing my retirement fund, either one of them, so I just don't know how we wanna do this.
So you asking to stay on for 3 months?
Not to be working here every day. I'm still leaving for a few weeks. But I'll be available by phone call. I don't know how to make this work.
So in other words, you're not gonna be working, but you wanna be a consultant until.
There you go, I guess. I mean, I am embarrassed by this, I really am.
Well,
This
don't
isn't
be
how
embarrassed about it, just
I'm not, this
something we
isn't
gotta
me.
work through. But I mean, we could have you as a consultant for so much.
Yeah,
That would work when it did. Yeah, I mean, that change, she ain't doing a parrot or nothing, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, and really you'd be having me as a consultant for 2 months, and then I would be physically coming in March to help her get through
And then
year end.
Then you're gonna retire in March.
And then I'm done with you people. No, I do like you a lot.
I wouldn't have an issue. I mean, we'd have to figure out a pay scale for it, like about 25 cents an hour.
Oh, yeah.
That much?
But if we had 25 cents an hour, we'd give it 3%, you know. it'd be about
Oh,
20.
yeah. What would you need to have that consultant?
Well, let me tell you that between my two funds, I would have been getting about $1,500 a month. So I'm not asking for that. So I would say $750,
For the month.
yes.
For all 3 months?
2 months.
2 months, okay.
And then March would be an actual probably. March would be more than $750.
Okay. What would it be?
I don't know, because it depends on how much Jill needs me to come in. We would sit and we would go through the financial statement and then if the auditor needs me for anything, I don't know if the auditor needs me or if Jill can just do it.
Would
And then
you
I
be-
think she would have seen most of everything that by the end of the audit. A lot of stuff would be covered.
So would that be medical insurance?
No, I would be uninsured. Yeah, I would be off the city for everything else. I have already started my own. I've paid for my first month in January with Insure. I have set up with my own cell phone soon. I will have that done. You won't be paying for that.
Would you be available at all the first 2 months to come in if need be,
I
or?
could possibly be the first couple weeks of January maybe. It all depends on when we leave. And then by phone. And then a thought is that if I could talk to Jill by Zoom, I could take the laptop,
That's what
I mean,
I
there's,
was gonna
I mean, I
suggest.
think she could take pictures of, what she's looking at, send them to me. I do think, because I remember calling Jill a lot when I started the job, and she would tell me, okay, write all your questions down, and then, don't call me every day.
No, I keep my word.
No, yeah, so Jill and I would spend probably one day a week when I was first learning, she would come in and help me, so I'm expecting she's gonna have some questions.
I feel better, like, thinking about Zoom and being able to do those kind of things too.
You could share screens with it and everything, so she could
Right.
see.
Right.
If you're in a place where that's possible,
That's-
or are you
that's the
gonna go
thing.
hide in the
Yep, we're
coulee
in,
somewhere?
we're boondocking,
Yeah.
for those few weeks.
You might have to go
And
to a
maybe-
bar and get on their internet.
But wouldn't I still, if I get a signal, I can look at that on my phone at
You
least?
could do a
Right.
hotspot.
Yeah, right, as long as I get a signal, I should be able to do that.
And we can track her hours. I mean, I could track her hours for you and let Carrie know. But yeah, I got to Lori today, type of thing.
Well, I'd want you to write it down so we can keep track. I mean, that's a given. But I don't have an issue with it.
So you have no idea yet, though, on March, what you're looking at?
So for hours wise, no.
Yeah, January and February, just $750 each month flat fee.
Yep.
Is that pre-tax, post-tax, what?
I was supposed she just put some, would take out taxes, but you would, you would have to, I believe, so the Terra, I mean, that's kind of the law on that, and
Well,
vested,
what you could do
so.
is you could sign a 1099 for him to be an independent contractor.
That's what I was
Is
thinking.
that up to a certain dollar amount, or what?
It's just you pay your own taxes
You
on
pay
it.
your own taxes on it, so you get a 1099. It's a certain amount that,
I mean, that's
Yeah.
why-
you're not obligated to send a
Yeah, it's not a-
1099 if it's
$600,
$600,
$599
$599.
off, yeah.
So,
600, $599.
Well, that's close enough.
yeah.
For government work days.
But, I mean, that's what I would tell you to do, sign a 1099, give you $750 a month. I'm gonna have to have a motion now.
As long as she can pay her bills too, that's gonna work.
Okay. Thinking about it.
So, somebody make a motion.
Yeah, I need a motion, so
Well, my question was though, is she going to be able to meet her financial obligations if we do
Yeah,
it
I'm
that
not
way?
interested in paying both sides of the 7.65%.
That's why she's gonna
That's
get
why
that
we've
in.
been talking about it, and so she came up with a number that she gave.
Yeah, so if you pay me, or let me just take the taxes out like a normal person,
Yeah.
750 is great. But yeah, I'm not interested in paying the self-employment tax.
I make the motion that we retain Lori for $750 for January, $750 for February, March to be determined, dependent on how many hours needed.
Second? I'll second. Motion made, second to retain Lori for January and February for $750 each. March, debatable, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. Did I help you out?
Yes, I was really not looking forward to that, and I am really embarrassed.
Well, let's move on.
Yeah.
Nice to have you aboard.
A new person.
Renew tobacco license for the corner bar, gardens, pub, and the country station. You had any complaints on any of them, or?
As far as I know. Not recently, anyways.
Okay.
Have they been checked by anybody? You know, checking to see if they're selling to minors or anything? You know?
No, we haven't received any complaints or anything like that. Far as I know,
Does the
they're
county
doing-
do them sting operations yet?
The county? No, I don't know.
They used to do it for cigarettes. I think that program is gone.
It seemed like that had happened at some
Yeah.
point in time, at one of those places. Yeah, but that's okay for cigarettes, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was cigarettes.
Seems like they're doing fine though.
Huh?
Seems like they're doing fine. They have been using their parking things for people that get sober at home.
Oh, okay, that's good too.
They are using them.
Is this $30 per bar in country station?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
they pay 30 annually each. Well, it hasn't raised since I've been here.
So, does the city set that? Or is there something that comes up by the court, is that?
The city sets that.
If you wanna raise it, now's the time to do it.
%3.
Go up to 50.
Up to you. You make a motion to 50?
Yes. I make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion is made second to raise the tobacco license to $50. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, Don's have a tobacco.
No.
You don't sell cigarettes?
No.
Jeez, my mom
Now,
and dad used to
now
sell
I
cigarettes.
made a little mistake here, cause now you raise it to 50, but now I gotta have it to renew them.
I'll motion to renew them.
So,
I'll raise it and renew it.
I'll second to renew.
We should have done that in reverse.
Yeah.
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 That's why I said I made a mistake.
Okay.
Say that a little louder.
Terry made a mistake on me. I got a motion made and second to renew the tobacco license for the corner bars and country station. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. See, oh, you know how to clear yourself.
Wow.
A reminder to cancel the meeting on the December 22nd. And then, 13, there's nobody here, so 14 mayor's concerned, I have a few things that we gotta do is, we gotta get this wall out. We've approved it before, but we never, I mean, just, I wanna bring it up because we're gonna need it.
Is he moving to that? Is
They'll move, they've already started, I think, didn't
Yeah, I think they've been doing some work in moving.
they? Where they going? Yes, so, it's just to hire a contractor to finish it. And the thing about it is we looked the other day, and we're gonna have to, this carpet's about shot anyway, when we do it, put new carpet in both places, just for the simple fact that
We never give it to Matt.
yeah, and it's,
That's how many years old?
2002 or 3.
Yeah, it's got.
It's time.
So are you looking at Steve taking the wall down, but then having a contractor come and finish it
I
out?
can do that,
So does it have to be put out on bids?
if it's under a certain price, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's way under,
Okay,
it's way under.
just checking.
that would be just somebody you check into.
Well, I mean, I assume it's like $100,000, are you gonna spend 100, Carrie, or not?
Terry, could you use sentences to serve, or is that beyond?
We could contact them, yeah. I mean,
No sense, sir, yeah.
the only thing we were talking about before, instead of having the door where it is to take that, kind of bevel it, put the door coming in here, so you don't come in, you have to go around the corner, you can see both sides when you walk in.
Yeah, it's not a
Right there in the wall.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
put a
say, is it a
beam
low
on
wall,
there?
bearing wall there?
Yeah, can't be.
I wouldn't think so.
It can't be,
No,
because if
because
it's a roof that comes down like that, the load is on the other side of
So,
it.
You know, the beam is right there on the other side of that door.
there.
So, I mean, there's just, the only thing that's in there is electrical and telephone that can be pulled out. And electrical would probably be used on the other wall anyway. So is that,
Do you have any idea how much that's gonna cost?
no, yeah, that's why I wanna get going on it. Because we approved it a couple months ago, doing it, it just never got done. You know, so. And then, as far as going back to the sewer, I met with the state, and they brought the sewer up to me at our talk, and turned around and said they're gonna go at it, and they wanna do it anyway, so. So it's bipartisan that they said that everybody was for it.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, where'd you go?
Sewer, you said talking about sewer.
The sanitary district?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I thought you said sewer.
Switch gears.
I didn't know you're going,
No,
you're way ahead of us here.
No, I had a Zoom meeting.
Oh, okay,
the other day.
okay.
Okay, and I got another one coming up, I think, don't I, Lori?
Yes, Friday.
And then, so just to do that, just stay behind it, so far, anyway, I ain't gonna say they're gonna be,
The
but,
state, who are you talking about? Who are you talking with? I mean,
well, one of them was Angie Craig
okay,
from the federal side of it.
good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be talking with Kinzinger here this week, so. And then, the other thing I was talking to Reese about, we are gonna have to bite the bullet and get some street projects done. I mean, we have to get 4th Street, and when you're gonna do it, and Broadway here is another one that's bad. Broadway is gonna be the easy one. But in order to get decent funding for it, to get decent price for assessments and that, is to bring up 4th Street, 3 blocks of 4th Street and 2 blocks of this one. You know, to have Reese start doing the feasibility study for estimation.
He already did the one up here, though. We got that one done.
Yeah, he said he still got that one.
Yeah.
And this one down here. But we were gonna do just the one street, but it got so high, that's when we had the people in here was it last year? Last fall? Last summer, I can't remember. Anyway, so if we put more of it in there, the price will be higher, but it's gonna be lower for the taxpayers, for the assessments. Because it just evens out more instead of just 3, 4 people paying so much, it spreads it all out for everybody. So I just wanna know if it's okay to start doing it, or get a feasibility study going on, because if we do it, we wanna have the bids out, we gotta have public hearing on it and everything else, so we gotta start very soon.
How long does that typically take?
The feasibility study and the
Yeah.
public deal?
Yeah.
That could be up to 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah, so then we probably can get started.
That's what I mean, and then if you wanna get the bids, to get the bids out before everybody gets full, then
Yeah.
the bids kinda go like this, you know?
Yeah.
So if it's okay, I'm gonna have them get going on it. No, we gotta do something, you know, then. I was gonna we talked to the school once, we got some money.
Yeah, they're just gonna, did they pay that yet, Marty? They're gonna write a check for whatever they owe, just gonna pay us. I think I can't what the figure was, like 30 grand or something like that, for the cost of doing that, that kind of, the parking lot and that kind of, you know, that indentation they work for. Yeah, they're just gonna, they said they were just gonna pay it, but they still gotta get assessed too. They'll get assessed too, but that's what we agreed, I don't know what the figure was, but we agreed on a price that they would pay it, we would do it, but then they would pay us for it, and that price is probably higher than what we're gonna pay to get it done.
Yeah, cause they had it put in their bid already, so
Yeah.
they just said that whatever that.
What amount was they're gonna give us?
They're gonna give us to do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, so they're on board on that, the only thing is we're probably gonna have to look at a mill and overlay on 4th and 3rd Avenue. In that 2-block area there anyway. The front of the school and the back of the school, cause you know, they're both streets with the heavy equipment that came in there. So I'm gonna have them look at that too while we're at it, and give a price for us on that also. So, that's basically everything I have. I did talk to some people up there on 11th Street, but I talked to people about it already, so. Is there anything else, Lori? She's my brains, you know, my finger.
Jealous now.
Okay,
Now you gotta switch.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Change gears here. Is there any council concerns?
I do have one. In regard to, when we're looking at concerns, and I'm just talking about action items and concerns, because I'm wondering if we're, last time we had, the mayor brought up, under a concern, but then we took action on it. So we have to be really careful about what is a concern and what is an action item, because if it's brought up as a concern, it's a discussion. If it's brought up and needs to be action, it should be under an action motion. So I think, Counselor, I wouldn't, I'm looking at, if we're looking at action items,
Well,
we have to be careful, if we have to take an action, otherwise it's just a comment. It's not something that, especially when we have to have the council vote on it, you're gonna get a motion and vote on it. That would be considered an action item, not a concern.
I guess, I don't, however you guys wanna handle it, but, I don't know, if, we've been a little informal about some of the stuff maybe in the past, but, is it concern about notice or I think, if I understand what you're saying, that you'd rather have maybe those things be just to discuss something, but if you're gonna take action on it, just gonna vote on something, you wanna wait till other meeting or,
Well, it should be under an action item. So a concern would be silt fence isn't up. That's not an action item.
okay,
That's a concern. If
Okay.
it's about
So
selling
who's
property,
gonna tell them to put it on, up there? That's gotta be an action.
but that's not a vote. That's not a vote, like, we all have to vote on that. That's something that, oh, I can do that. I can ask Steve. But if it's a selling of property or making a motion such as that, that would be because you asked for the council to vote on it. So that would be an action item. You don't put an action item underneath a concern. That's all I'm saying. So if it was something that needed to be addressed and you wanted to vote on it, it should be under here.
So it should be like number 11 or something.
Right.
And it should be
It would be
named.
like any other,
Named.
right,
Mhm.
so. just
Not
in
under
general.
all, on council concerns or mayor concerns, and then you're just bringing it up and now all of a sudden you're voting.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Because it puts us in a really difficult situation, like, and there's been a couple times where that's occurred, and it's like, what do you mean we gotta take action on it when it was under a concern? We need more information. So if there's not enough information, then we table it, put it on the next month, and then it falls under an action item. I'm just looking at procedurally. So that's just my concern. So.
whatever. And,
That was
Sir?
inappropriate.
Certain,
That was inappropriate, Mr. Mayor.
what?
When you said whatever,
I'm talking
I'm
myself on this,
trying-
okay?
I'm trying to just make sure
I
that
know,
we're
and
doing
I'm,
things
and I'm
correctly.
trying to figure something out.
Okay.
So if you took my action when I was talking to myself wrong, then I'm sorry, but I ain't gonna apologize for something that I'm thinking myself. And I was just gonna say that if I got concerns, I'm gonna have to bring up, and they're gonna have to go back and amend the minutes every month. Because certain things can't wait another month.
Then they should be added to be an action.
That's what I said, then I'd have to come back and amend the minutes.
And just put it in, because that could be added.
And that's what I was thinking.
I just want to make sure that we're doing things the way we're supposed to be doing. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm uncomfortable taking an action on a council concern when it really should be an action item. That's all that I wanted to say. So,
Okay, the other council concerns.
I had somebody ask about the water, the billing for the water. You have your basic water charge, and then it says over the minimum on the, and he's asking why that would be changed to just like a water usage, because you have your basic sewer, right, or basic water. There's a charge for your basic water, and then it says that they're over their minimum, and I questioned it myself. I was like, there's no way I went over a minimum. Lori said they took the minimum away a while back.
Yes, it's probably a wording issue, I guess, because we charge just to have a connection, we should probably reword it.
Yeah,
Is what
that's
we
what I'm
need to
saying.
do.
That's what he said,
So
to
we
just
need to
reword
say
it.
minimum water connection, okay,
Yep, and then,
Yeah, I
'cause
just
everybody
don't think
thinks
it
they're
ever-
going over.
yeah,
The
because they
gallons
don't
usage.
they don't get any water
Exactly,
now.
yeah, so
They
that's why I
just
said,
have the
just we'll have to
connection.
reword
Yeah.
it, because a couple different people have
Okay.
said something about it, and I was concerned myself, that's why I asked
Okay.
at that one meeting,
Yeah.
so yeah, just reword it on the bill. maybe.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
we just probably changed that, because
Yep.
we used to get 1,200 gallons
Exactly,
for the
we don't,
minimum.
and I explained that.
And
to
then
them.
we changed that, but didn't change it
Okay.
on the bill.
Well,
Okay, we'll do that.
Patrice?
Who answers, when Lori was gone, there's people, I'm sure, calling in here, who answers the calls or, checks for messages?
Kyle.
So there is somebody who is to do that, okay.
Yeah, they take care of the, ones that need to be handled and leave the rest and
Okay.
wait. Yeah, that came up quickly. I didn't even get to change my message to say I was gonna be out for 10 days.
Yeah, right. Well, it was just at that meeting we were at, and they they had called, and of course you were here, and, you know, I didn't ask if they left the message or not, but they called a couple different times before they called you. And so it's kind of like, well, you know, was the ball dropped or what? And that's why I'm asking.
I don't think they left a message.
Okay.
Yeah, because Kyle will, listen and see if he needs to do something about it, but then he saves them. Leaves them in the saved file, so I don't recall, they probably hung up, I'm guessing. But yeah, that happens a lot of people hang up.
Oh, it's important. You can give them that.
Yeah, right, that's right. Okay.
That's your question then?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm not, see, is there a reason we have to have this young gentleman sit here all this whole time?
Yeah.
Could we ever switch him back?
First.
Well, because I wonder if we should, I think we did it as an accommodation to Donna before, but I wonder if we should change that. I'm not telling you what to do, but I just think it's kinda,
We always had it at first. before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always
Yeah.
had it.
I don't mind either way,
I just think,
Well,
whatever you guys wanna do.
we'll get going here quick. Motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Motion made and second to pay the bills, all in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Motion to adjourn?
I'll motion.
Second.
Motion made and second to adjourn the council meeting, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now we'll open up the EDA meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of October 27th meeting?
Don't.
Yeah, Wayne did, I'll second.
Motion made and second to approve the EDA minutes of October 27th, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. See the updates, Mitch.
All right, so, as you all know, Celine did resign from the farmer's market manager. So I am trying to work on finding somebody to run that for 2022. Working with Megan Roshan from Goodhue County Ship, she's gonna help me kind of spread the word a little bit, is that we're looking for somebody. I've reached out to the University of Minnesota Extension, they haven't gotten back to me, and I've reached out to a couple other places such as Zambrota's Farmers Market, Red Wing Area Chamber, just trying to get the word out to whoever we can, just to see if we can get somebody to come in and run that for us. I'm hoping that we can find somebody and get them in here by mid to late February, mid-March at the latest. I know there's a little bit of training that they gotta do, as far as like, knowing cottage food laws and different things like that. So hopefully we can find somebody. If you guys know anyone, feel free to ask around. If we don't have somebody, there's not gonna be a market in 2022.
We'll find somebody.
Yeah, if you have some names, throw them my way and I can always reach out to them.
Sure.
I am still working with somebody who's putting together a business here in town. I gave them a couple of next action items for them to take. I think ideally they would want to get this open probably in the spring, but I think it depends on how long those couple of processes take. So we'll see where that goes and I'll keep you guys updated. A couple updates, the facade program. Shirley Dean, she was working on an application. She hasn't responded to me in the last month. I was hoping that we were going to get that in front of you guys today and get it approved. I know she has a project that she's working on. I've also reached out to Don's Food and Workout 24/7 to see if they have any projects. Don's Food might apply, but it does sound like Workout 24/7 is probably going to put in an application. So whenever that comes forward, we'll get it in front of you guys to take a look at. The career fair and community gardens, I'll kind of do that at the same time as both goes with the school. I've reached out to the principal and the superintendent, and I haven't heard anything back on those projects yet. Community gardens, I mean, we got some time, planting season's not until May, so hopefully we can get in touch with them sometime over the next few months and get some sort of arrangement made out there. Veteran and Firemen's Memorial. So I did hear back from Red Wing Shoes on Monday, and it sounds like they'd be interested in receiving a grant application to help fund that project. I'm gonna work with Traven and probably the Historical Society. It sounds like the Historical Society would have to be the one to put forward the grant, so I can help them organize that, write it for them, and just submit it under their name. So I'm trying to work to put those two parties now getting together and see if we can get some funding for them. And lastly, Cranston Heights Park, I know it said no new updates, but I did get a call back today from a tree service guy. I'm gonna meet with them on the 20th and kind of go over, take a look at the project and see if we can get some estimates for you. There is a DNR grant that could potentially help pay for this park, but if we wrote that grant, got it approved, we would run into the ADA compliance. So I probably want to meet with the engineer and just see, you know, kind of how much that would cost, just making sure that the inclines are right and stuff like that. And if that's too much, I mean, there's no point in writing that grant if it's going to be.
That's the trouble we were having before with the ADA, because it's so steep in there, like our path down to that picnic shelter is not right.
Yeah, so you would have to do something make it more level, maybe do like a curve around so that it's not steep. I don't know how you would do it, but I'm guessing it would be, cost a little bit more than what we might be willing to spend out there.
I mean, that was the biggest thing before on it, when we talked about different things up there. It all came right down to ADA.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna run into that with any grant application. Yeah, I think I told you guys before, I mean, if the city were to fund it, you wouldn't necessarily have to be ADA compliant, just because there is other parks in the area that are ADA compliant, such as this one right over here. So it's only if you really get a grant, and the grant requires you to be ADA compliant. That's where you're gonna run into those issues. But that grant would only cover 50% of the cost anyway, so the other 50% would have to be paid for by the city.
Do you really want to keep spending money on that park? Is that really,
Actually, I liked,
Dog
dog park up there. To be honest, I mean, I like that idea because we actually could use it.
Right, and that's be a better source than going through all that other work.
Okay, so, well, if you wanted to go a dog park, how would you want to do that? Would you want to have it fenced in, so you just have to have somebody come in and put up a fence and go about it that way?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably remove the swing set, I mean, that's old anyway, no one's gonna use it.
I know we're gonna get grief on it, but I mean, I'd still like to see it that direction first. Instead of spending all this money on it, you know.
You'd rather see it go dog park first? Okay.
Well, all the other facilities are in Rosie Park down there, isn't there swings and everything down there? I mean,
We got 4 different playgrounds.
Right, I mean, it's available, I don't know if any using it up there, because I've been, asked about a dog park many times, so.
Okay. Yeah, let me look in that direction then, I can get together with Steve and just kind of see how much it would cost to just put up a fence around there, and that's really all I need, a fence and a gate, and people come in.
And we need one of them dog dealers.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
And the
well,
police
you
station.
don't have to, you're not talking about fencing the whole dang park, are you? Maybe the bottom half or the whole park.
Not the whole park,
Yeah,
because
no,
it's a strip along.
However
the
you
Yeah.
want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You could do the bottom half of it.
Right, yep, down the tree.
Everything from the gazebo or shelter south of it.
Right.
Maybe we put some money into improving that shelter and the picnic tables. I mean, don't the Hispanics a lot of times use that park for some of their.
There's a lot of people that use it.
Yeah.
There are guys that are working in town, usually go up there and have the lunches up there.
Okay,
I mean, I always see people there, don't get me wrong.
yeah,
I see people over here constantly too, but they're here, so they go up there. And that's why if we do like the bottom half of it, I wouldn't have an issue with
Right, just a nice little area for them to use.
it.
okay.
And just start out there and see what we can do.
Okay, yeah, that works for me. I'll get together with Steve and kind of figure out just kind of where we want that, the fenced in area to be and get it marked out.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything. My big thing, I really want to try to get somebody to get in that farmer's market.
Yeah,
I know it's a big community asset and we'd love to see it continue moving forward.
It's sad to lose it, really sad.
Do you guys have any questions for me at all?
I don't. No, thank you very much.
thanks.
So can I get a motion to adjourn the EDA?
Move.
Second? Motion made and second to adjourn the EDA on favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.